Hello, everyone. Uh, Welcome all, and thank you for watching my Rethink and Develop 100 Days Self-Created um, Internship. Uh, R&D 100 Days starts with rethinking, followed by development. Today's day 10, the second week of my faith day, 30th of May, and I'll talk about the first two parts of diligent work, being productive and being efficient with our time and the methods that we do things. My talk will be encompassed today by the sermon I heard this morning as part of my church, Symphony Church in Boston, and it's titled Jesus and Our Work. And today's key verse is from Colossians chapter 3, verse 22 to 25. And it says, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it not only when their eye is on you and to curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord. Whatever you do, do work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Anyone who does wrong will be repaid for their wrongs, and there is no favoritism." So today, there was about three main messages, right? And those encompassed around God's view of work, the pitfalls of work, and the attitudes that we should have towards work. And these are lessons 1, 2, and 3, respectively. And Today I will be focusing mainly on lesson 3. Actually, a part of lesson 3, for sure. The attitudes that we should have towards work, right? And the other lesson that was central for this, sort of like the larger message, was for us to have a high view of our work, because our work matters to God. Now, some of you may be asking, Ryan, what work do you have right now, right? And so that's a good question, because you don't necessarily have to be in work for God to use to use you. Right now, I'm just defining what work is to me, and you can define what work is to you. So for me, work is like, first and foremost, I'm a student in college, right? I'm a rising student. So my work includes, first of all, homework, projects, right? Preparing for exams, my grades. Those are a measurement, right, of my work. Okay, and the other things that are close to college are serving in church. When I'm serving in ministry, right? Then that's a work in itself, right? And these and or like doing chores at home, right? Helping my brother and sister or mom and dad around the house, or helping my brother and sister with their homeworks, right? Those are works that God has called me to do. Okay, all of those are work that God has brought me to do. And some of them might seem like, like menial and really annoying, but anyways, it's still what God calls me to do. So I learned that we should have, and that I should have, a high view of our work, because our work matters to God. Okay. So have a high view. What does it mean to high view? It doesn't mean for you to be arrogant, but high view for me means that I should view as it with dignity, because all of God's work is not menial. God's work is not garbage. It's very noble. It's very holy. It is God's work, and it's good knowing that my work matters to God. Okay. Um, and the next things, I'm going to say six things, okay? And those are basically what sort of sums up the message from today. It was for like the outline and like the key lessons from today. So one is the attitudes towards work, right? I sort of spoke on that. Number two, I think it's important to pray for the right motivation. The result of the work, um, and the result of processing throughout the work is as important as the motivation itself. As you can't have the proper result as when someone has higher motivation and you don't really have high motivation. You're just trudging through it. So pray for the right motivation. Number three, obey in everything. Of course, unless it leads to sin, right? And these are all from, the Bible, Colossians chapter 3, verse 22 to 25. Number four, be diligent and excellent. Okay, these are in the same line here. I'll come back on that. Number five, work with integrity. Don't cut corners here. Okay. Um, Number six, look to the perfect worker. Who is the perfect worker? Is it the person that got a um, is it the person that got a promotion last week? No, the perfect worker is Jesus, God, right? They will show us what it means, and I believe in that. Okay, so now I'm gonna touch upon be diligent and excellent. The reason why I chose to do that first because I think myself that I need to improve on it the most, right? I think we all need to improve on it. Um, but anyways, something popped up on my screen. Right, so be diligent and excellent. Work heartily, right? What does that mean? Work out of your soul. Work out of my soul, right? Use my soul and heart to do the work instead of just blindly, without heart, without any motivation, just doing it, right? It means to me, do not do the bare minimum. This isn't just for serving things, but this is also for classes also. Don't do the bare minimum in classes, right? Put my whole heart into it. Be excellent. Like, I need to excel in my work. Okay. Um, don't just look good when people are around, right? When the camera is not looking at you, or when your supervisor or your parents aren't looking at you, or when your friend doesn't look at you, what are you doing, right? I think that's the best summation of someone's character. You know, um, whatever God, it's sort of whatever God is doing, right? And God asks me to do the most, right? Be on time, be punctual, right? Have respect for people, and do not cut corners, right? That's what diligent means, right? Don't do a bare minimum. Don't just look when people are around. Doing the most, be on time. Don't cut corners, right? Do whatever God has called us to do. You're doing things um, diligently, and that requires me to be productive, right? How do we be productive and efficient? By being on time. Productive of our time, do not cut corners. Do the most, right? Do not be lazy. Don't sit around and wait something for happen. If we sit around and wait something for happen, then God's not going to give it to us unless we work for it, unless we earn it, or by God's grace we get it. But God tells us to ask. At the bare minimum, we should ask and keep working, and God will provide. So for me, it would be to be an excellent big brother, be an excellent child, be an excellent student, right? Go to class, do my project, work well, right? I should be efficient and productive in my work, right? And I think Colossians chapter 3, 22 to 25 really focuses on what it means to be efficient and productive, right? I should work with integrity, right? And that's the key thing. So see us next week for next week's message. Thank you. Bye.